So today we're gonna hopefully do something I've never been able to, and that is landing on the MUN and then returning back home to Kerbin. So in order to do that, the trip planner is saying we need 10,000 units of Delta V, and just for leaving the MUN, we need a little over 5,000. 5,700 if you do the math. We did recently unlock this lander can here that is pretty light, so that should help conserve as much Delta V as possible. And of course we need a science collector, and I'm thinking that would be best on the bottom, so that when we strap the lander legs on it, those can extend and keep it safe. Also the heat shield that we're definitely gonna need, as well as the parachutes are going to be very important to us. Right there on the side should be good. So now the tricky thing is getting this set up that can actually land on the moon safely. The door is right there, and we need to make sure our buddy Tim can get in and out of this thing. So what I'm thinking is we'll need to keep the can close to the ground and then build on top of it. We could put one of these giant fuel tanks on here in the middle, but that's a lot of weight that we won't even use. So rather than that, let's get a couple of empty fuselages stacked up here because those are particularly light. And then off of those, we can put a couple of these decouplers on here in a fashion that won't block the door. So something like that. And then we can strap on some rockets, keeping the thrusters plenty spaced out from the lander itself. And then probably these Terrier engines that we unlocked because they're good for late stage rockets. And already those four give us 3,900 Delta V. That's really good. And the easiest way to make something go farther in Kerbal is just strap on more rockets to it. So just copy this whole assembly and extend it out. That might be a bit wide. We'll use a small radial decouplers for this. And then those on there should be pretty good. That gives us 5,400. And I think this low Kerbin orbit is to block ourselves in the orbit. But really we're just trying to crash land on Kerbin without crashing. So we don't need to worry about trapping into an orbit. And there's a lot of dependency on these legs to make sure they can hold themselves, but they should be able to do it. I hope so anyway. Would it work to get smaller landing legs somewhere on the science thing? They don't attach there, so that won't help. We might just have to be very careful about this because we got 42 tons of landing happening on just these tiny legs that only have an impact tolerance of 12 meters a second. And it would probably be good to strap on a reaction wheel right about here and then a decoupler on this thing, so we're not sending back so much weight to Earth or Kerbin. I was doing so good until there. That should work pretty good for us. We lose a little bit of Delta V, but it's still in the reasonable parameters of things. So ultimately, I think we have ourselves a lander. We'll make sure to save this. So now the tricky part is getting this thing strapped to a rocket, because this is not a very flying friendly thing we got going on here. We could put nose cones on each of these things, including the middle, and then get a similar assembly happening down here, but I'm not sure how much I trust this being able to fly. Also, we're just gonna need a whole lot of struts to keep these things in order, like so. But now let's see what we can get away with here. We do have this adapter, and if we do this and then strap on two more, in this way we can quadruple the things that we can put in the middle here, which is probably really good for these solid fuel boosters. So that's looking pretty promising right there. And the other thing that's gonna help is making sure that each of these things are in their correct sequence, because it turns out that's important when calculating Delta V. On second thought, this might not be the best stage for boosters. We should save those for the beginning. Instead, we'll strap on normal Methalox rockets to this part with some good old swivels on there. And then from there, we can attach rockets to the outside of this. But the boosters are very close to this, so we'll have to be careful once we separate, although that's not doing good things for our Delta V, because the more we add on here, the more weight goes up, and we're losing Delta V in the process. But once we separate these things, then it should calculate out better for us. And when in doubt, you just strap on more rockets. Now we just need to make sure that the center of thrust and mass are in line with each other, which it looks like they are. Good. And it'll probably be good for us if all of these boosters are in sequence with each other. And then once we lose them at the same time, we're getting close to our mark. We're only 3,000 off. Only 3,000, that's a lot of Delta V. Now the main thing I'm worried about is this middle part is kind of a wobble point. So we'll just use our trusty struts to strap it all down. So right now we have enough to get ourselves to this point, returning to low orbit, which is where we suddenly fall short. How much difference would it make if I were to rip off these engines, strap on more fuel tanks, and then put them back on? Not a whole lot, only 500 more Delta V. You know, maybe we should actually launch this thing to see if it can get anywhere. So let's throw on some clamps, a lot of them, and then maybe just bring this whole thing down so there isn't so much clamp height, because that just looks weird. That's a lot better. All right, our launch pad is looking pretty good. We have a lot going on in the first stage, but it should hopefully treat us well. Launch! Okay, we're going up. That's good. That's a good sign. We're going up. Science reports are already being generated, even though they're worthless. And the problem is we're not going the fastest with the boosters. We're not even at the tilting point, and we're already mostly done with our things, but we are gaining a lot of velocity, so that's good. It's just not as quick as I would like. All right, boosters are done, so let's disconnect them. And oh dear, yeah, this is what I'm worried about. It's very top heavy. So let's turn on RCS and get us pointed prograde, which seems to be trying to do its thing, but it really isn't. At least we'll be going up for, oh gosh, we're almost at the apex. All right, boosters, time to kick on. Gimbal, 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 gimbal. Yep, good. We need this. Stop, point up, point us up. We need to go up, not down, up. There we go, very good. We're going up. Okay, now we need to find where east is. Is that east? 270? It is west. We need to go this way then. There we go, just casually fixing it mid-flight, as you do. All right, and then back this way a little bit. Okay, now point towards prograde. Yes, that's the name, except it's going down, so we gotta fight it a little bit to keep ourselves directly at the 90, but that already is all the fuel, and we're not even to the moon in that stage. I see. Well, let's just disconnect you. Did we disconnect? Or is it just following us that strongly? Let's just rotate this a little bit. Okay, it looks like we are disconnected, I think. Let's just turn on the boosters and get out of here. We are not getting out of here. I think something wrong happened with the Sepatron. This bottom stage is still connected. I see. Well, our rocket still needs work. Not too sure how that happened, but that's looking better now. So the problem is we're losing all this fuel, and we're not even to the moon, or even on a path to the moon. And we do waste a lot of rocket power trying to orient ourselves when this thing flips around, but it is so top heavy. So we could probably do what we did with the golf ball and just strap a lot more boosters to this thing. I feel like we're gonna get diminishing returns on how much Delta V we get from this, but it should be worth it. And yeah, sure enough, another row only got us 700 Delta V. Now we need to make sure all these are combined together so that we can keep our weight ratio above 1, but that is super low. And we should also make sure we got Separatrons on these things. We probably don't need them on the second row of boosters actually, because that's pretty well separated from the main core of the rocket. We do lose a little bit of the thrust weight ratio, but as long as we can get to space, that shouldn't matter too much. We got a lot going on here, but it should pay off. We just gotta get this started, and okay, that's a lot of thrust. Also, why is it tilting? It's tilting. Tilt back this way, don't bump anything. Oh, I think it bumped something. Ah, point up, RCS, do your thing, do your thing. Oh my goodness, this is tedious right here. So new plan, scrap all these Separatrons because we're just gonna fire all the boosters at once. That really kicks up our thrust weight ratio. Wow, and the combined power of, whoa! All these boosters all at the same time. Oh, that is glorious right there. We're getting so much velocity. Wow. We also are using a lot of electrical power for some reason. Not sure what that is, but going straight up is an excellent feeling indeed. Can we tilt this thing at all? Not really. So, okay, we gotta be careful about this. Continue pointing prograde and then detach everything and fire those rockets right away. Yes. Okay, we're going still on the good trajectory. Now we can tilt. Oh, we are actually very far up. Holy moly. I should probably cut this off so I can see where we're at with things. All right, we are gonna be very up that way. So really we should tilt ourselves to the left. Ooh, careful about it. Being very careful about it. So we can get ourselves moving the correct direction instead of only up. I'm feeling a lot better about this one. And the prograde is moving, that's excellent. All right, so with the rest of this fuel, we'll wait until we're at apoapsis and then kick it off from there. Except we're still a little shy, so ooh, okay. Where's the MUN at? Over there. This is gonna take more Delta V than we have in this stage, but that's okay, I think. As long as we can get out that far, so we're not as influenced by Kerbin. Well, let's see, where's the mission point? I don't know, but I'm supposed to burn right now, so we're gonna do it. Oh, there's a mission point. Okay, it's not too far off. So we just gotta burn the stage till we run out, and then detach, and detach manually. Okay, now continue kicking. And it's still increasing there, just not as fast. But we do have a lot of Delta V here. All right, this is going pretty slow, so I'm wondering about firing these rockets off right now. Let's move this stage down one then, and then we can increase our output by firing all 4, or I guess 8. Okay, and that's moving the velocity a lot better, that's good. We are still gonna run out of this one a lot sooner, but that's okay, because we were gonna shed it anyway. And then at this point, I think we can stop the maneuver planning and just go as we are. At least until we get the apoapsis pushed out, because we'll probably need a new maneuver. That's looking good. Okay. Stop the burn here. Let's plan another one and push this out that way. Okay, so we're still not entirely lined up. Let's just adjust this as we did before till it captures. And that's how we leave the system. Dial this back. Ooh, that's a good capture right there. At least for the most part. That gets us close to the MUN. Maybe we can slow down from there. Still going pretty fast. I need to get the slowest velocity I can so the MUN captures. So that's a large window of time there. It's just gonna be a very narrow slingshot to get around there. But that should be good. I'm actually wondering if I can do better. So I'm just moving the point and dialing back on the V to save as much delta V as possible. Okay, that's a really wicked slingshot right there, but it's working though. It's just so exponential because we're moving this so much and we're only going down a couple delta Vs at a time. That was ridiculous. Uh-oh, we depleted our electric. What? We weren't doing, oh, the RCS. Whoops. Does that mean these won't work either? Oh no, they do work. Okay, ooh, okay, that just threw me off. Okay, I think this is as good as we're going to do. But we have also lost entire control of our reaction control wheel. We can still tilt like this, which is good. And oh wow, we have a lot of science here. Although we do get some electric power back from the engines. So that's cool. Let's just fast forward to the burn time. I probably should have put some solar panels on here. I didn't think the reaction took that much energy. It's about that time, so we kick it off. And then we're gonna be burning here for quite a while, actually. It looks like we're gonna lose a pair of engines while we're at it, which may be good, may be bad. But now our trajectory is starting to reach past the planet. Yes, at least we secured an orbit. Oh man, this is gonna be risky. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and done. Oh gosh, it is so pinpoint timing. But that gets us sailing closer to the moon, which I'm not sure how good that's gonna be. We're gonna have to slow down a lot. Actually, we're slowing down right now. What's going on here? I think we're getting pulled towards a planet. We are definitely getting pulled towards a planet. So just a little quick thing like that, and that should save us, maybe? Oh, we're actually entering atmosphere. That's how close we are. We got a little bit of friction going on. Aha. So I guess we gotta be careful about how close we're getting when we pull off this maneuver. Okay, that sets us on a collision course for the moon, while still keeping good distance from the planet. Do I want that though? Probably don't want that yet. Can this altitude meter go away though? You're blocking everything. The problem is if we do this, we run a very high risk of just completely leaving the system. At least with something like this, we have good room to work with. So we're just gonna go for that and hopefully be able to point this thing in the right direction. We have a very much not power supply. Poor Tim's in the dark. Even though the window's pointing towards the sun. Not sure, but we might just have to go for it once this kicks off. And accept the consequences. Okay, did that do it? We're still on good course. And thankfully those rockets generate electric power, so good. So I'll have to make sure the periapsis of this maneuver doesn't drop below 70,000 just to be safe, which that should be good right there. And the way we're spinning is currently passing over the mission marker. So we might just have to flare a little bit there once, just so we can get some power back, like boop. Okay, we gotten some power back. That should be enough to orient us in the correct position. Hopefully that EC is ticking down so fast. And oh no, we lost it. Burn. Okay, yep. Steady. Ooh, good, very good right there. And we should still be on course. And away we go. Trying this again. And this is where it gets very touchy. 3, 2, oh, it's right there. Now what's the rest of this doing? Okay, our periapsis is looking pretty secure right there. We have a tiny fraction in these other engines, but the moment we can shed those, we'll be a lot better off. We just have to hope we have enough to land. But now that we have this secured, and provided we can get around the planet in one piece, then we can see what it takes to land this, which is probably slowing down a whole lot. Maybe not at that point, but at some point. Just checking in on Tim here. He's in the dark, but he's alive. And we have reached periapsis, and now we're going up. Oh, good, no burning. Though I bet it would look very cool in the night sky like this. All right, but sure enough, the hard thing is gonna be landing. So, whoa. Okay, there's a return trip past the MUN. Just, ooh, right there. That's on a collision for it. Do I want collision? That is straight down. If I can get like a wrap around, then that might be better, like that. And that only costs 47 Delta V. That's a very quick burn, but that should do good for us. So let's fast forward. Okay, now we're in the moon sphere of influence. Did someone just break there? It seemed like someone just broke there. Okay, but yes, there's the MUN. And then Kerbin disappeared over that way. It's so small now. All right, now point pro mission point, if you don't mind. Though this is taking most of our Delta V, or not Delta V, the EC. Just get there, yes, good. Uh-oh, pass a little bit, ooh. Just burn that to realign. Okay, that works. The fact that this is so touchy, it's gonna be very easy to miss it. But now we're getting, oh wow! Even just the data is so much science points, just because we're next to the MUN. Oh, this is gonna be a very valuable vessel right here, provided we can actually get back. It should just be a straight collision for the planet to do that, but man, this is nerve-wracking. Now we don't need to pull it on the full throttle, because that would go past it way too fast, but just a little touch ought to do it. Oh great, we're out of EC, but that's okay, we're lined up and ready to gently tap the thruster. Uh-oh. I'm pressing the shift key too much. Sticky keys turned on. Okay, this is a bit of a bigger burn than I thought. And now we're out of that fuel. Just gotta bring it in around. We could probably wrap around to the bright side of the moon, but stop. Okay, good enough for me. That took a lot more than 47. I don't know what that's going on about. But now we're well on our way to touch down on the MUN. It's just a matter of landing this thing very, very, very gently. So we get a nice gentle view here, but let's go ahead and fast forward this to get closer, okay? And whoa, okay, MUN's right there. And now we're descending. And now I wish I put lights on this thing. Wait, the MUN has its own highlands? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But okay, we're less than 200,000 meters. We should probably start controlling our descent. Okay, we don't need these anymore, so let's get rid of those. They can crash on the MUN, no problem. Now we're slowing down. Gotta be careful not to slow down too much and waste too much fuel. But now we are less than 100,000 meters, and we're gaining a little more velocity. Oh good, the ball brightened up. And hopefully this area is flat enough that I can actually land this. And I'm guessing this is the giant crater coming up here? Yeah, it is. But oh man, that is beautifully flat. All right, but now we're approaching 1,000 meters, so it's time to massively slow down and hopefully get this thing pointed up and down when we land. Oh, this is gonna be a beautiful landing spot, I can already tell. Okay, yep. Let's go straight up and down. Oh yes, we're gonna do it. We are absolutely gonna do this. Just need to keep our downward velocity under control by having very fine control. So let's way down. Okay, 10 meters per second is a good velocity to go down. Need to be very comfortable with the descent. Okay, it's still currently at an angle. We're also drifting way to the side. So here, let's just coast and turn retrograde again. This is gonna look like a SpaceX landing. Okay. Okay, and there it's going. Stop. Ooh, that's perfect. We came to almost a dead stop going side to side. Oh, I'm liking this. Just gotta be careful to control the velocity going down. Definitely can't go too fast. Let's see if, okay, hold up. Okay, let's just keep the, nose pointed right up and down. And then keeping the velocity at a near minimum. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. Can't get too panicky with it though. And stop. We landed on the moon. No way. We landed on the moon. We did it. Take a step outside, Tim. Oh yeah, look at him. He's hopping on the moon. Whee! Oh wow, I don't know what I was worried about the landing camp being close to the DERPA floor. He can jump really high. Look at him go. Oh, and listen to those footsteps too. That is some ASMR right there. I could get behind that. And before we forget, take a beautiful sample of that dirt, Tim. Oh yeah, all that precious moon dust that we can make into portal sheets. That is a huge sample size. 108 signs for that? What? Oh, and he's happy. Look at him doing that little dance. He knows his accomplishments. We can also run an observation survey, and we are definitely gonna plant a flag. Made it. I was holding down the shift key the entire time. Not sure why the A went dumb, but you know what? That works. Sub to intern. Plant that bad boy. Yes. Beautiful flag that isn't ours. I did not make this flag. Well, you know what? I'd say that's a successful half of the mission complete. Only problem though is we don't have a whole lot of Delta V to get back. So we might need to send a rescue mission for poor Tim here, because he's got a lot of valuable science on him. At least I hope it's on him and not on the vessel. But this is a major accomplishment, so I think we'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoy this adventure. I can't believe I haven't landed on the MUN before. This is awesome. He can almost jump as high as a rocket. Good job, Tim. And we'll figure out how to help him next time. Sub to intern. And thanks to the channel members, including Bread, Mr. Cripple 1, Ancient Elixir 1, Corby Farm, Dakota C, Donamoto, Devion X, Muffin Stuffer, Lucas S, Splatter Sex, The Real Nickname, Hateful Herald, Peggy Sue, Droopalong, TJ, Seriously Sarcastic, Angel, Lily, and The Miner Within.